Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing our weekly change for July 15th through the 19th, 2019. We're going to look at last week's changes, which are up currently on the screen. We're going to look at the four main indexes for this week. What were their performance? Were they positive? Were they negative? We're also going to look at stock futures, the after hours, what stocks were moving up here in the after hours. I know Intel got hit just a little bit in after hours. We're going to look at the entire S&P 500 performance for the week. What sectors were strong? What sectors were weak? We're also going to look at oil, the dollar, silver, golds, and mortgage rates. So that is what we're going to be covering in today's video. We do a very quick recap of the week for historical performance. That way, back in a year from now, we can look back at this specific week. We know that the Fed's out there looking to cut rates. In the history, what normally happens with a rate cut, we're going to be able to historically track this thing, what's kind of going out there with the market with these videos. So that is my whole idea behind creating these every single week. So if you are brand new to the channel, have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. I cover the stock market, dividends, real estate, personal finance. If you're interested in any of those topics, definitely hit that subscribe. If you do enjoy this video, find it helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions yourself related to the stock market, dividends, real estate, personal finance, drop it into that comment section. I do read and reply to all your comments. And if it's a comment I believe will help all the viewers and subscribers, I will make a video kind of showcasing that specific information that's requested. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the video. So stock market last week was positive. We had the dates 8th through the 12th of July, S&P up 0.78, Dow Jones up 1.52, the NASDAQ up 1.01, and my portfolio was up 0.51. So overall, all the indexes, just about everyone over here that posted was up some 1.5 to almost 2% there. So very nice performance here for the week. Now the S&P 500 kind of sold off going into this week. Now they gapped up higher. They kind of continued their steam from last Friday, gapped up here into Monday. We saw stock futures really high going into this week. And then Monday came, it sold off hard on Monday and then kind of just trended sideways for the remainder of the week, waiting for earnings to take place. The big financials are coming out on Tuesday. JP Morgan and a few others. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, earnings was kind of hitting the market there. We could see about a % loss there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Some members of the board, or I know something related to the Fed, came out and saying, hey, we got to drastically be aggressive here. We got to cut rates ahead of what may be possibly coming, and we may need to cut rates 0.5% to be fairly aggressive. Friday, somebody came out there and countered it, saying, no, we're not going to be that aggressive. It's not going to happen like that. So we saw this little spike here on Thursday, Friday, basically just a little triangle there. So 5-day change down 1.23% there. This is, I believe, third place as far as negative for the week, down 1.23. Dow Jones is actually the least negative. This one actually came first place this week, down 0.65%. Basically the same news. Earnings, we sold off here on Monday, just pretty much for the week. Tuesday, Wednesday were a lot of earnings affecting the market. Thursday and Friday, just the Fed talk coming out there saying we got to be more aggressive with the rate cuts. Friday saying, hey, we're not going to be that aggressive with our rate cuts. Basically the same trend lines. NASDAQ also the same, basically the same performance. NASDAQ this week is in, let's see. Oh, NASDAQ is actually third place. So S&P was in second place as far as negativity. NASDAQ is in third place. The Dow Jones was basically the best performing index, and the Russell was the worst performing index this week, losing 1.41%. So this is the one I like to look at as far as national level. So all these companies are generally doing business here within the United States. 1-800-Flowers, First Source Corp. These are not international companies that do a lot of business external to the United States. So when the economy is getting into a rougher state, you're going to see the Russell 2000 not really perform as well as the international, more, larger cap companies here. So this one's down 1.41. This one is the loser currently year to date up 14.78, followed right behind by the Dow Jones, then the S&P up 18.74, and our winner is the NASDAQ. Stock futures currently looking negative here. You can see about 0.25% there, negative if I hit the refresh button. That stays about there. So about 0.25% there. Down going into Monday. I'm looking to continue buying into Monday. If you guys want to pause this. So Why did we end up going lower here on Friday? Basically, a lot of geopolitical fears. There's a lot kind of going on right now with the Fed coming out, possibly cutting rates, trade war tension still out there, where we kind of postponed raising our tariffs, but still there's so much kind of going out there. Plus, there's some stuff overseas with, um, you know, Iran and such. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on politically, and that's kind of causing some chaos out there. I know oil got slammed out this week. Intel in the after hours. I know I saw Intel in here earlier when I was taking a look. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, there it is, down 0.5% here in the after hours. Texas Instruments down about 0.25%. Merck & Co. up 0.59. I saw a lot of medical devices. Some of the medical companies do really well this week. I believe Pfizer, Abbott Laboratories, Medtronic. We'll take a look at that here actually in just a second. Here we go. We have our 1 week performance. So here is our 1 week performance. You can see that not one sector out there was positive for the week. They always had a mixture. Healthcare, their drug and manufacturers, Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, Eli Lilly, and Bristol Myers were pretty much negative. We had Pfizer, Merck, Amgen, Medtronic, and Abbott up really nicely this week. We can see Abbott over there up 4.25%. Now, AbbVie was a split off from Abbott, so this is kind of interesting to see Abbott pop up 4.25. I'm kind of interested to see how AbbVie will perform here in the upcoming earnings. Also, down in the bottom, Boeing popped up here on Friday, up 3% Actually, we can look at the day just really quick. We can see Boeing on the day pop 4.5%. Now, a lot of investors out there in the dividend community are saying that this is a buying opportunity. They've kind of bottomed out. You're getting a higher starting yield than where you would have in the past, say 5-10 months ago, and you're getting closer to the time frame where they're going to be putting their planes back on, I believe September is what they were grinding until. But that whole date's kind of getting closer. You're having less time to kind of wait for that. And Boeing kind of popped up due to that. We saw a lot of the rest of the market didn't really perform there on the day. Now, everything pretty much, I know financials did a lot of earnings this week. Financials, a lot of investors are expecting them to do fairly well. They did not do fairly well, down 1 to 2% there, even 3% there with Wells Fargo. Berkshire Hathaway selling off 4%. Apple down 0.35. Google, Facebook, both there about 1.2 to 3.2. Netflix lost subscribers when they did their earnings, causing them to lose nearly 15.5% there for the week. And also railroads got slammed. I saw railroads, kind of interesting to see railroads still out. Obviously railroads are the best transportation for long distances, especially when you're hauling a lot of equipment. But just to see them get slammed this much, down 10.5%. Now, Netflix, I can understand. There's so much congestion within that niche. Netflix is not the big baller out there anymore. All their original content, they lost Friends, I believe, and they're losing a few others. They're not. I never had a Netflix subscription, and I probably never will. But they're getting a lot of competition. They have AT&T's competition coming out there. They have Apple. They have Disney. Disney's going to be that huge one that's going to go in there, and I don't think Netflix will really be able to perform as it has been in the past. So we shall see how this one kind of plays out. Activision, Blizzard, and EA both selling off. Nothing unexpected there for Activision or EA. They've just been getting a lot of hate. IBM up 4.86. Pretty good there for the week. And Philip Morris. Philip Morris came out here, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday, doing some really good earnings. Plus, they guided forward positive. They popped up 9% on the day, and they carried Altria up some 3% as well. So overall, cigarettes not doing as bad as the media has played them out to be, with the whole Juuls thing. Juuls getting banned over in California. I think the whole acquisition of Juul was a smart move. I do believe it was overpaid, but I do believe that they're getting into the marijuana industry, and I think that's really good for Altria and that whole cigarette there. So I do own Altria there long term. And kind of jumping into financials. You already saw financials down 1.34. Home Depot and Lowe's. I know they were in here. They're pretty, right here. Home Depot, Lowe's selling off this week. Cynical stocks there. We can see Home Builders down 1.29%. I know Home Depot is a part of this one. Oh, both of them there. 4.5% on Lowe's and Home Depot. So 1.3% there. Oil Big sell-off this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Huge chunks getting just taken out day after day. Oil here, basically almost 2% there on Monday, 2% there on Tuesday, 3% there on Wednesday, and another 2% there on Thursday. So just getting slammed day after day after day. Bounce back Friday just slightly up. Are down for the week 6.79%. So they were slammed this week, and dollar actually got higher. I wasn't expecting the dollar to start climbing higher. I know the Fed's coming out here wanting the dollar to get a little bit weaker. I think that's what the Fed had mentioned. I know President Trump wants a weaker dollar because he says that all the other countries in the world have a weaker dollar. Why shouldn't we? So inflation is going to be rising here in the future. We're also going to have the Fed cut. Dollar's going to get weaker, easier to borrow, easier to use, and just cheaper, worse for the middle class. And silver. So silver did the complete opposite of what oil did. Oil went down some 6%. Silver is positive 6.38%. So this was a crazy opportunity here. I saw quite a bit of investors actually buying into silver here. I think I may do a video. I don't own paper silver. I do own some ounces of silver. I think it's kind of an interesting one. I've had them for the longest time. I still haven't done a video on that, so I probably will here in the future. Gold up 0.7%. Not really selling, not really performing as well as silver. I think silver is a really good indicator for the industrials. So silver's used, much more often than gold is in production. So silver up 6.38%. That could see that the industrials could pop here higher in the future. Bonds growing here for the week up 0.39. And I think that's kind of what helped out my portfolio. I moved a good portion of my funds into bonds as I'm doing a transfer between my thrift savings plan and a IRA. So rates continue to climb. I know last week we were up, I believe, 2 or 3 points last week. We are up 8 basis points this week, moving from 3.97 a week ago to now 4.05. So we are slowly creeping back up. Now, I want to go ahead and cover what was posted over here on Facebook this week. So I kind of covered all the main changes here for the week that I wanted to cover. Now, as far as changes and news that came out this week, Johnson & Johnson got hit on July 13th. That was last week. That was Saturday. Saturday is when I kind of posted this out there. They got slammed because they're under criminal investigation for concealing cancer risk, but they're coming out here with a elusive HIV vaccine, which is poised for some major testing. So I wanted to have some negative and some positive news out there for Johnson & Johnson. So good opportunity. Looking at this amazing artwork. So this home actually came under contract, but I was looking at a couple properties. And this one here, they wanted $69,000 for this thing. It just did not look appealing for $69,000. I think it actually went under contract for about $45,000 or so. Someone within that range. Happy Saturday. Shared over from Instagram. Morris Invest, leaving the country. I did my Monday buys video, so I only bought up 2 companies. I bought up Caterpillar, and I bought up SKT. That was my second buy here. Tanger Outlets. So I just kind of went over and posted on the Facebook page why I believe this is a good buying opportunity. It did have a bit of a sell-off this week, but that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to sell off. If it could go into that $15 point here in the short term, even the $14 point, I will load up on this company. I would like to bump it up into about a normal size position within my M1 portfolio of about $600 to $700, and that'll be fine for that portfolio. That's just one of the pieces of my total portfolio. So kind of interesting to see that one. I did post a domain. So if anybody was interested in buying, starting their own website, learning how to make money online, Bluehost had a very special event where they were basically giving a hosting for $2.65 per month, which is super inexpensive. That's basically $30 or less for the entire year, plus you got a free domain. So I thought this was a really good opportunity. I ended up buying a domain and doing a few other things. I have another website I'm starting up completely separate from the financial investor. Just different ways to make income. Stock market weakness, basically kind of posted some information there. We have my M1 financial review. I created a review Over on my website, if you guys are interested, I have a Webull review, Robinhood review, and an M1 Finance review. I'll be coming up with a couple other articles pertaining to the stock market and platforms and just ways to generate income online. I started 2 additional groups. If you guys have not heard of my 2 Facebook groups, one is called the financial independence or financial investor style. I'm not sure whichever. FI. It's just FI dividend growth investing and FI real estate investing. I actually kind of meant them to be financial independence, but my initials are basically the same. And I wanted to create groups that were more focused than my other group. I have another group in here that has about 700 members or so. Yeah, 660 members in this group, but it's very scattered. It's covering the stock market. We have real estate. We have personal finance. We have 401ks. They talk about value investing. There's a lot going on in the group, and it gets a little bit scattered sometimes. So I want to be more focused in what these groups are actually on. So all those that are in favor of investing in dividend stocks, they can join the dividend growth investing. A link in the description below. All those that are interested in real estate investing, check out the real estate investing group. You can be part of both of them. Just contribute. If you're contributing towards them, remember to keep it towards that specific niche. Philip Morris and Altria, there's the news there on the day. Philip Morris nearly up 9.5%. Altria up a little over 3% there. So Goldman Sachs moved Altria from a neutral to a buy. Thought that was some interesting news there. M1 rolled out a new dashboard. I will be covering that in an upcoming video. I made another offer on a duplex. This was out there. They had it listed for $150,000. Talking to the property manager right now. I actually offered really low. I offered $128,000. They said no, it's not going to work. Somebody actually offered higher than that in the past, and they did not accept it. So you're going to have to come in higher. So I'm going to go walk out through the property, take a look at what needs to be done, price in my estimates, and still talking to them about the roof needing to be replaced. So everything is getting priced in, but I'll probably make an offer on another duplex or a triplex. I know they've been wanting to sell me a fiveplex. I'm not really wanting a fiveplex right now. That's a little bit really hard to manage because once you go into the commercial, it takes much more. It's a different level of financing. So this week, what were the changes for the week? The S&P, as we saw, S&P was down 1.23%. The Dow Jones down 0.65%. The NASDAQ down 1.18%. And my portfolio was down 1.08%. So overall, we moved from a green week into a red week this week. So that is how that was done. I still think we're going to lose a little bit more next week, another 1 or 2%. And then the Fed's going to come out, and that is going to decide, is the market going to climb higher or are we going to spiral out of control? So I think it'll be interesting regardless of what takes place in the future. I will stay invested, but that is basically all I wanted to cover in today's video. So if you are brand new to the channel, have not yet subscribed, if you come back here every single week or view some of my channel or my videos on the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button below. I cover the stock market, dividends, real estate, personal finance. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up. And if you have any comments yourself, would like to leave them in the comment section below, do so, and I will read and reply back to you. I thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.